Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Market chart pattern today is 26th of May 2024. I hope everyone is having a great weekend and everyone is having a good long weekend in the United States and also in the United Kingdom. So Monday is also holiday. Uh, in this video, we are going to take a look at the gold market. So this is going to be our weekly gold report segment, and we'll be taking a look at the longer term gold market. We'll be taking a look at silver, and then we'll dig deep into some of the individual gold ETFs and stocks. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and it's not a financial advice. So I'm going to start by taking a look at a quote from JP Morgan, and what he said is actually pretty interesting. This is coming from the AZ codes. Gold is money, everything else is credit. The statement makes a lot of sense. However, some of the traders might argue that at his time we didn't have Bitcoin, so maybe some people actually equate Bitcoin slash gold. So it's interesting times we are living in. Nonetheless, this statement actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so here's a chart we have coming in from stockcharts.com, and here I just wanted to show to you how different asset classes have performed from beginning of 2024 till today. So this is actually a pretty recent picture, so it's not too far in the past, recent times in month of May, and we can see actually gold. Based on this, the gold asset class has outperformed pretty much everything which is here. So that includes the large cap stocks, growth stocks, the mid caps, foreign stocks, value stocks, mean blue chips, and look T-bills, and look what the bonds have done. They have actually not been producing the returns because of the interest rate pressures. So I don't know exactly how they have constructed this because the crypto is missing out of it. If I were to reconstruct, I would also have at least Bitcoin as part of it, and that would be pretty much around here somewhere. Okay, so just wanted to bring to this to your attention that gold has been really performing well since the beginning of this year. In fact, since February of 2024, gold has actually taken off, and that is something that we need to pay close attention to. And one of the reasons that the gold has been outperforming many other asset classes is because of central banks buying gold, the commodity, and the biggest buyer has been a China central bank of China. And this is a chart coming in from financialtimes.com, so ft.com around here, and this just shows the Chinese gold trading activity explodes, and this is the trading volume in MN. I'm not really sure. I believe these are metric tons perhaps. So you can see recently in 2024, this activity has just gone, it's just skyrocketed compared to the previous levels, going back to 2016, then of course 2019, and the period prior to 2020. So that has been a big driver for the price of gold. Now we come back and take a look at our charts, and this is the really long-term chart of gold, and this is a quarterly chart. So here each bar represents 3 months of activity, and of course the quarter is not over yet, so this bar is still active starting from the month of April. So now the key point is that I'm not going to go into the details of these different patterns that are here, because I've done a video explaining these long-term patterns that we're looking at, and I would actually just put a link to that video towards the end of this video, so you can actually watch that, and that will explain more in detail. But what we are looking at is that the gold has the potential to hit 2,700 and even beyond that as well. But those are the kind of targets we are working with a price tag of 2,700, where we have these two ABCDs completing. The purple one takes us to around 2,715, and this smaller brown one will take us to around 2,675, so roughly about in the range of 2,700. So this is what we are watching for a quarterly pattern wise in the gold market longer term. Okay, so we'll just come down to the weekly chart for more recent price action data, and what we can see is that the past week gold has actually um, closed a negative for the week, and it's been a pretty big range in the gold market, and it just tried to take out and took out the 8th of April high by a little bit, and then it went into a corrective mode, and I'll just show you on the daily chart where we are now. So this has a kind of a potential for a double top, but it's not confirmed unless these lows of about 285 are taken out to the downside. Then we could have gold even coming down towards the 2210, which where we have the 20 week moving average as well. However, I'll just move to the daily chart and show you that it all depends on where we are and how the price action is going to move next week. So this is the daily chart here, and what we see is that from a retracement perspective, last Friday gold came right down to this 78.6% retracement, which is from this low to this high. So that is here 78.6% retracement. I don't think it hit that exactly. So the low as the 78.6 comes around 23.21, and the low was 23.26, so it was fairly close by. But what is also important is just looking at the shorter term timing for this. This is very similar to the ABCD one-to-one price projections that we look at on the price axis, something very similar on, but on the time axis it is actually next week. We actually happened to start it from last Friday, which was the 24th of May. A timing came in, which is the 0.382 external retracement. So between the 24th of May 2024 to around 30th of May, which will be the next Thursday 2024, we have got a timing factor coming in for a potential low in the gold, if gold already did not bottom last Friday. Now Monday is a holiday in the United States, but gold also trades in other markets as well. However, what we are looking at currently is the COMEX gold. So this is the one which is traded on the futures market. Now, if you happen to be looking at spot gold, the price is going to be a little bit different. But what we are looking at is the COMEX gold. And so I think it's going to be very interesting for the gold market next week, because we have this timing coming in. So we are looking for, at least on the daily charts, for gold to put in a low, and we'll begin to get further confirmation through price action early next week. Now the key thing is that, a really important thing is that last Friday, after 2 days, in fact 3 negative bars, the actually gold did not close negative for the day. So this is really important. And if we just look at the low of 23.28, it actually did take that low out by a little bit, but it's also very close to the 78.6% retracement, and with the timing window coming in close by. Now what I have here on the bottom is an oscillator. So it is working or trying to work out a slow and a fast phase, where we have this blue cyan color as the slow one and the red one being the fast. So and the way to look at this one is it has got an overbought territory, which is around here. This is a red line 80, and 20 is where it is oversold. Now one of the things with the momentum indicators is that normally you will not see me use these, is because they can remain overbought and oversold for a long time. But here the interesting part is that we can actually look at these crossovers, these situations when a crossover is happening between the blue line and the cyan color line and the red line. So we have seen this work quite well in the past. So just going back around here, we can see that this indicator had actually entered a oversold category or the region around here, and then what happened is that the red line began to cross the cyan colored line around here, and it just kept on that momentum, and this is where we saw a nice bull move start. So this nice bull move started, and this is where from an oversold condition we saw the red line move above the cyan colored line. So that's interesting, and this bull move just continued for quite a long time, and you can see that it went into an overbought category, which just suggests that it's actually a false indication. It's just an indication that actually the move is pretty strong. And then we can begin to see that around here um, the red line actually began to close below the this blue line or the cyan colored line, but the market actually went pretty much range bound, and on the shorter term it actually went into this oversold category. And then we had again a crossover, and then another one around here, and we had a nice bull move starting there. So what we really need to pay attention to is that here, just coming back around here, is when the red line closed below the cyan colored line, and we have seen a retracement, and now the indicator is moving into an oversold category or below 20. I should just not say oversold, just say below 20. And here just we'll like to get some confirmation from a momentum perspective as well, where we'll just begin to wait and see as a further confirmation from a momentum perspective when the red line will begin to close above the blue line. So a situation something similar to around here or around here. So this is something that we will be watching as well. So again, gold is entering on a daily chart. Really key parameters from a timing perspective. From a price perspective, it's also reached the 78.6% retracement level. That's the kind of the maximum for a corrective territory we'll look at. Otherwise, the chances will be that it's gonna go for a further correction down, but we'll be paying really close attention to by monitoring all these three things. So the time, the price, and also the momentum. So when price meets time, the pattern is complete. So in my opinion, gold next week is entering really important parameters. Okay, so that's been a really interesting analysis for gold, and just waiting to see further price action. Now I'm going to switch this indicator off because don't use it by deleting the panes. It's gone. All right, okay, now let's take a look at the silver market as well. Here we go. So this is the daily chart of COMEX silver. It's not the spot silver. So if you're watching spot silver, then the price is going to be a little bit different. So here what we can see is we have the price, it retraced right to the 38.2% retracement, and just below that we have the structure coming in here as well, and then this, so this generates a pocket between 29.89 to 29, and we also have the 20 period moving average on the daily chart around here. So there is a fair amount of support around this, and particularly around the 38.2% retracement level. So just like gold, we were watching for possible timing and a possibility of correction already being completed. The silver actually market looks stronger compared to gold market. So if we begin to actually move higher over the course of early part of next week, and this would suggest the 38.2% retracement has been held, and we could have higher prices, and the price is likely to take out the 32 level and move much higher. So let's see if we have what does it suggest on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, you can see that there's really nice support coming in from the structure around here. So we were looking for this structure. We also have this structure and this structure here. So that's another reason, combined with the 38.2% retracement on the daily chart, it's a pretty good level of support around here. And the 1.272 expansion of this entire range comes at 33.80. So that will be what we will be looking at on the weekly chart, shorter term on the higher side, and of course we have higher targets as well. So we'll take one thing at a time. And then if we take a look at the quarterly chart, so this is the quarterly chart, and here in 2011 the market had reached $50 So it came very, I think it did reach $50. 49.82 was the high. Silver does have the potential to actually not only reach this high but actually take out this high. There's a bigger ABCD which could be in play, but for now we are just looking at 35 is where on the quarterly chart 61.8% retracement, and a little bit above 36.45 is the completion of ABCD. So that's the kind of range shorter term we could be looking at in the price of silver. So just drawing a retracement, looking at the 78.6%, and I think this data goes back to only about there we go. So looking at the 2000s, 2001 kind of low, this is where it also bottomed around the 20th of January 2020. Wasn't able to close below the 78.6% retracement. So just to illustrate it a little bit better, so somewhere in 2021, and this is where the 78.6% retracement is. So very interesting longer term chart in silver as well. The metals seems to be a place where perhaps the money is also moving into. Now we'll begin to take a look at the gold ETFs and also the gold silver ratio. So if we take a look at XAU, which is the Philadelphia Gold and Silver Sector Index, and here what we see is again, just like gold pulled back, it pulled back right into its 20 period moving average after reaching or coming very close to 1.618 expansion of this entire swing. So that's kind of expected because it just means that it just went to kind of the maximum level we like to typically take a look at for an expansion of this move. And where it is right now is I believe it's very close to 38.2% retracement. Yeah, it is. It actually went below that, but now closed pretty much there. So it's very similar to the pattern that we have seen in the silver market. All right, now we'll take a look at GDX. Okay, so this is the VanEck Gold Miners ETF, and here what we see is also something really interesting, that it went right to the 78.6% retracement after taking out these highs, and we have seen a pullback come in, and of course the underlying market gold has also pulled back a little bit. Now what is interesting is we have this ABCD, which could in fact see this move to as high as 40.17. So the key is that the market finds support from pretty much where it is, because that's the 20 period moving average. Last Friday it closed above that, and it's also where the 38.2% retracement is as well. So it just went between 38 and 50%. So once it begins to gain more momentum, by taking out, let's say, the 35.60 level, then chances are that it's going to resume and complete this ABCD at least, and maybe even move beyond that. And what we have is formed this nice double bottom formation around here, and it's just been moving higher, especially from February of 2024. But the gold, the underlying commodity itself, is much higher because of course gone and made new all-time highs, whereas the miners seem to be lagging behind. And if we take a look at the gold bugs index, HUI, they're all doing similar kind of pattern formation. Just wanted to show you guys different patterns all these markets are doing, to get further confirmation of where we are in the cycle. So again, very similar to the GDX, and what we can see is that market finds support from here and at least complete this ABCD, and yeah, the chances are it can go and challenge these highs coming back from April of 2022. So that chance also is there, but looks like it's moving in a confirmed ABCD higher. So I would probably suggest 306 for the completion of the ABCD. What I have not let me actually do it right now. I did not draw these expansion levels, and it's possible that this ABCD also coincides with yeah, there we go, this is what I thought might happen. So this level 302 is going to be really important because we have the ABCD completing and this 1.272 expansion fairly close by, and from here we could also have 78.6% retracement there. So it'll be basically a target to watch for, and maybe we could expect some a pullback to happen just because of the combination of ratios coming around this level. Okay, now we'll start by taking a look at some of the gold equities. So here we go. So we'll start with whale, and this whale is a really interesting one to watch because we were looking at this with the potential inverse head and shoulder pattern formation around here, and what it has done is it tried to go to its 38.2% retracement, and when the gold market pulled back, it just pulled back along with it, and now it's just sitting right at the 20 period moving average on the daily chart. What it could do is still go and likely go and test the 38.2% retracement, and really key that it begins to close above the 200 period moving average. So I believe that's really key. Once it begins to do that, the momentum should really begin to get really much better for Vail. So just keep an eye on it. And then we have the next one is agnicoeagle miners. Pretty strong stock to take a look at. And we can see that it went pretty much to the 1.618 after completing its ABCD formation around here. So it completed that and just blasted higher, taking out the swing high, and now it's just maybe the old resistance can also become the support. So this one is pretty strong actually, and yeah, looks like it wants to go higher and target higher prices. So I've not actually drawn the retracement, but it can easily go and retrace up till 78.6% retracement, which is actually pretty nice for the bullish side, because it means it has retraced so much of it. And yeah, so could actually initially take out all these swing highs right at the 78.6% retracement. It has already excuse me, done that with the 61.8% retracement. So pretty strong looking stock with very nice momentum behind it. Look, this is just testing its 20 period moving average, and where the 20 period moving average and 200 period moving average, look at the gap between that. So this is when the momentum really accelerates. This is the kind of divergence we see. That so there's a big gap around here. If there is going to be a retracement, it's going to come and find support in between that. And then we take a look at the El Dorado Gold. Yeah, I think still I could hit this 1713 to complete this big let me just draw this. So it looks like it wants to go and complete this big ABCD to 1713. Then let's take a look at Gold Fields. So some of these stocks I'm not familiar with them, but still we can do analysis, but it can take a fair amount of time. So it completes its ABCD to the downside. Now we have this channel formation, and it completed this after completing this big ABCD, and yeah, pullback is expected. It can also be argued that we have this inverse head and shoulder formation there, and of course we have this nice trend line in play. So we can just join these, and you can join with this one, or we can in fact join with this one as well around here. So there are some overshoots. So that the trend line is nicely in place since September 2022. Yeah, so what could be expected is yeah, we will have to wait for a break of this channel, so that will be really interesting to the upside, I mean, for it to move higher. Harmony Gold, a really small stock, so I'll just move on to the next one. Mag Silver, also are really small, so it's one of those junior stocks. So in fact, what we can do is take a look at the GDXJ for the juniors, because in the minors one has to be really careful. So that way maybe taking an exposure through the ETF might be a little bit better, just because we get better volumes. And here what we can see is that it's just doing a nice ABCD higher. We take this low to this high, clone it, bring it here. Yeah, it's a little bit higher, nice double bottom around here. To me it looks like it just wants to go and complete this ABCD and maybe even test these highs higher. So this is for the juniors, which means I'm gonna skip quite a lot of these and try to take a look at some of these higher priced equities. For gold, Chemco Corporation, nice bullish chart. You can see price moving from the left hand side of the screen to the right hand upper corner of the screen. Price above 20 period moving average, which is above 200 period moving average. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this one on the weekly chart, and here we go. So it looks like this stock is really pretty much there to its new all-time highs. So these are the kind of stocks that one needs to take a look at, which are actually moving higher and increasing their earnings as well. Now, one thing with the miners is that you always have this relative safety concept. One has to be careful with the miners, what kind of miners one wanna take an exposure with. We spoke about it in the last video, which we did over the weekend, last weekend. Freeport McMoran, interesting one. To me, it's moving in an ABCD higher to about 71.50. Of course, there are certain levels that one needs to be watching. These are coming in from these old highs around here. So it's not made a new all-time high, but looks like it's on the way to do that. And one of the other resistances that it'll just have to overcome is through these levels around here. $1.60 around 1.272, and of course this will be a pretty big one because we have just the ABCD a little over and the 1.618 expansion of this range. This one is the GDX. We have already taken a look at that one. This one is Barrick Gold. So the Barrick Gold, it's in a range bound, which is actually fine, because this means that being in this range from momentum perspective, maybe the price is able to resolve this, that the 200 period moving average begins to close above that, and the 20 period moving closing above the 200 period moving average, which would be actually pretty nice for the stock. But you can see that potential for an inverse head and shoulder, and then there is a big channel formation taking place like this, with some overshoots around here. And if I were to just copy this and bring it in parallel mode around here, here we go. So it seems to be moving in this channel but trying to break out of this channel, so just keep on watching this. And then if we just take a look at this is gonna be the Newmont Corporation. So I moved on to the weekly chart. Let me go back to the daily chart. This is what we were looking at before. So this stock has been actually stronger, comparatively speaking, to some of the other miners as well. And yeah, this is when the earnings came out. It just came back, tried to retest this top part of the channel, and it's just trading in a range. But if the gold begins to strengthen up, the chances are, in fact, in this ABCD formation, so we could see 46.40 to 47, and above that we have $50 as well. So Newmont Mining has done much better than some of the other miners. So if gold price begins to improve, that's going to be pretty good for Newmont. Oh, because this is really interesting. This is the Pan American Silver Corporation. So as the name suggests, they have to do a lot with the silver market. And in fact, the pattern is very similar to the underlying silver commodity that we took a look at. It appears it's just in this consolidation, so more like a spring like this, and it completed this big ABCD pretty much near around the lows we were projecting. And then here we have a double bottom formation completing in March, beginning of March, and a nice move higher. Now momentum seems to be pretty good for this one because the price is above 20 period moving average, which is above 200 period moving average. So we can see if this gap begins to widen between these two averages, means strong momentum continuation, the kind of thing that we have seen around here. So where it is right now is it's retraced about 50% of this swing high to low, which is good because it took out this swing high. It's above 38.2% retracement. So we actually could be in a ABCD like this. So 1-to-1 price projection around here. So we could see 2650. So keep an eye on this one. On the Pan American silver, the stock looks pretty interesting, so at least keep on watching this one. Let me actually put in some retracement levels. 61 and then 78, yeah, which comes, yeah, so this one ABCD, this one is gonna be around 2650, pretty strong resistance level. Getting above this, I think this could be ready to rock and roll, maybe. I don't know how to put it, but it'll be good for the price to move much higher. We can draw like a channel formation like this, and based on this, it has of course cleared this resistance line. Let me make it solid so it's a bit easier to see. So that's really good, because what happened around here is that the market of course closed above it and then pulled back, tested this channel high, which at one time was resistance, turned out to be support, and now I think it's moving in an ABCD higher. So keep an eye on this Pan American silver. This one is, I believe, Royal Gold. So this is a royalty stock. In last week's weekend's video, we talked about the royalty stocks and the actual miners. So royalty stocks tend to be higher priced, and depending upon the situation and the kind of investors' appetite for risk, what they want to do, sometimes better to just buy the royalty stock rather than the actual miner. So it really depends, but we can see that it's moving higher. Maybe it's gonna go and close this little bit of a gap around here. So nice move in this, good momentum here. Don't have any targets for this one at the moment, but what we can see is that it has completed a few 1-to-1 price projections already. Here we go. And if we were to draw another one like this, and here we go. Yeah, you can go and test this all the highs. So actually go into this box formation around here. Let me draw the box right here. But of course, this is all depending upon it being able to hold these lows. So at least this one, because that would be our point C. At the moment, it's just retracing. It's just retracing right to its 20 period moving average, which will be around 50%, but at the moment it's at the 38.2%. It's just resting there, which is actually pretty good. If it begins to move higher from here, that actually means a stronger move, and we could have another smaller ABCD. I'll put it in a different color, this one, so that could be a possibility. And here we go, and we'll have these ABCDs pointing right in the same direction that is inside that box that we actually drew right here, right now. Here we go. Then let's take a look at this one. This one is Southern Copper Corporation, with the copper moving as well. This has had a pretty nice move, and if we just draw this, like this was a you can say a triangle or a wedge formation, just broke out of it, and for a long time it just went into consolidation around here, and now it's just breaking out. Let's take a look on longer term charts, whether it formed an all-time high or what it is doing. So of course you can see that there we go. It's got to do with the copper commodity, new all-time high. So fantastic performance for this one. At one time we were watching for this pattern formation, and that pattern just failed and moved higher, and now it's really around here. So really needs to 110 level is really going to be really important, that it shouldn't take these out. Otherwise, moving below 20 period moving average is not going to be good for momentum. And then if we take a look at the wheat and precious metals, it's done really well as well. I think I don't think it has completed the ABCD, but the potential for a bigger ABCD is there. So if we just take a look at it like this, there we go. We just copy this, bring it around here. Yeah, maybe we can see about 60, 61 as well for this one. So it's got a little bit further room to the upside. And then this is the Kinross. This is what we were watching last time. It's getting into this area where it can get into some turbulence. Otherwise, the small price stock has just moved really nicely. Broke above the one ABCD, really strong stock. So maybe it's right at the point where it's gonna get some pullback, but I think that it wants to go and tackle these highs and maybe form a new all-time highs as well. That's also possible. So this one is Nova Gold, a really small price gold, but look at the price action. It's not as great as some of the other ones. And then I'm just trying to think of another company, Sibanye, Stillwater, unless it was bought over. Sibanye. Yep. So here we go. SBSW. So Sibanye-Stillwater is probably the second largest platinum producer in the world now. This is a stock I've not taken a look at for a long time. Now what I do not understand is why, with the gold price being that high, and the silver prices, why this stock hasn't moved that much. At one point you can see that around 2016, 17, this is really high where it went. Right now it's very close to the 78.6% retracement here, and it is forming a pattern which appears to be a lot of consolidation taking place. It's more like a spring pattern, the kind of stuff Wyckoff talks about. So if I just bring in a double curve like this, and we try to draw it, oops, not something that I really wanted to do. Draw it like this, or like, there we go. So you can see it's like coiling like this as a spring formation. So the important thing is that, look, the price is right at the 200 period moving average, right at the 20 period moving average. This is the daily chart, and maybe it just goes under a little bit further consolidation. And if it begins to get support from here and begins to break out, I think this is something one needs to keep an eye on. This stock has done fantastically in the past, but the past is no guarantee for future performance. But just keep an eye on this one, and it used to pay some dividend as well. But I would have thought this to be performing much better. But we'll just keep an eye on this. But it's just come down really low, and it has done these kinds of moves in the past as well. This, it's very similar to what it did. So we need to get further confirmation from the momentum perspective, and that's like wait for the price to close above 20 period moving average, and wait for the 200 period moving average to close above the 20 period to move above 200, and the price being above both of them. Then it could be a pretty good sign that momentum is improving. So just keep this one in your watch list, and we'll be watching these stocks on a weekly basis for our gold report. So for sure this one is going to go on the watch list. So thank you very much for watching the video. Apologies, being a little bit longer video than expected, but we covered a lot of things. So we covered the gold market from a longer perspective. We took a look at on the daily chart, the expected time frame when we are thinking this correction might be completed, if not already completed, in gold. We took a look at the silver market, and then we also took a look at the ETFs for the gold market and the individual stocks for gold and some of the silver stocks. So thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.